So today I want to share an update on a change that I'm going to make, a process I went through in my head, and the silliness at the same time to the overall problem. So I've talked about over the last few weeks a couple times about my progress in the gym, my progress overall just staying consistent, falling off the wagon, getting back on the wagon. A couple things about my gym is it's empty in the morning. There's maybe 3 or 4 people the entire area. If you've seen any of my pictures on social media, you know there's not many people around me, and it's really a wide open space. And I used to tell myself that I liked that. But a couple thoughts have really been with me for a while. One, I've always kind of I wish that I met some new friends at the gym, which hasn't happened. I've said hello a few times, but nothing magical has ever happened. Number 2, I don't ever feel like I'm growing in the gym. I feel kind of stagnant. I feel kind of bored. And as I've been thinking through this, just showing up, I was accepting that that's a win. I was making progress, but I'm still back to I'm kind of bored. A common thought that's been in my head is there is another gym in our town, and it's the more popular one. It's got a pool. It's got a whole bunch of other stuff. It's got a sauna, which is something I really wanted to do. I like the feeling of just going into a room and sweating. I would really love a steam room. I was spoiled with those in the Marine Corps. We had those at our gym. And this idea of wanting what the other gym has, but I should just stay here. It's also cheaper because my wife gets it with her benefits, and we also go there together, so we get the family discount. And so I'm like, you know what? I should just stay here. I should just come up with all these reasons why it's okay. You should just keep showing up was the common narrative that I would say to myself. Now, as I ramble on here, you might be thinking and applying a lot of what I just said in your life, that there are a lot of times where you just come up with a bunch of reasons. You know what? I could change. I don't really want to. Could be applied to a job. You know what? It's really nice here. I should just suck it up. I should just like what I have. It'll get better. Just keep going. But here's a common thought, or not a common thought because it was kind of a brand new one. When you're growing, it can be very easy to just kind of let one area be stagnant. And my knowledge in the gym is one of those. A couple of things that I was calling myself up for was, Ben, why don't you just Google a workout routine? Ben, why don't you just learn like you do in all these other areas, effective grouping of workouts? Because oftentimes my mind goes blank when I'm in the gym, and I kind of just go off my muscle instinct on a core group, a couple of exercises that I can remember. And so that also isn't effective either. And so this idea of just going through this it's ironic because all the other areas of my life, I do that. If I want to learn something, I go to YouTube, I read books, I expand my knowledge in so many other areas, except this one. And now a side effect, pull back a little bit, a side effect of coaching men is oftentimes every time you're coaching someone through some problem over, let's call it problem Z, way over in problem A in my life, I'd be like, you know what? That was really good advice for problem Z. That also applies to problem A. I should really apply that. And so you often get insights into your life that you need to apply by helping someone in theirs, which usually the situations are completely different. But by giving advice in one, you can see that wow, that was really the advice I should be applying. And that's what really led up to this thought. And so randomly, I was coming down at night because I had to take the dog out and he needed to go to the bathroom. And I'm standing on the stairs, just getting ready to get down to the bottom floor. And a thought popped in my head. Ben, why don't you just do what fucking makes you happy? And I was like, there's a thought that really hasn't popped into my head very often. And it does, but not in that context. Because in this particular case, I was forcing myself to be somewhere because I felt like it's what I should be doing. And I've been a recovering shitaholic for most of my life. And so realizing stop shooting yourself that you should go there and do what makes you happy. Go there. And even applying so much of the advice that I drop here, I was saying, so what if it's a failure? Then knowing is half the problem. Not knowing is what makes you in this kind of crisis of not knowing. You can go back. This is not a life-changing decision. You can go back and find maybe a third alternative for a gym. There are so many different methods that work here, but I want to open up and really expose what my brain was doing. So in this moment, my brain was using fear. It was using excuse making to hide potential. I was just talking to a dad this week, and essentially he was really struggling to see a bigger version. And I told him, like, your fear is really big right now because it doesn't want you to see what's on the other side. And so that's what I applied here, is my brain was coming up with all these reasons to stay where I am, to stay in the mediocre results, and to prevent myself from going to a place that I think I would meet new people. There are a lot of veterans at this gym. I know there are a lot of veterans because I have friends that are at this gym that are veterans, and they tell me that they meet a lot of veterans. And there's a lot of different things that I'll be learning, and I would be growing in a new environment. These are things that I encourage people to do all the time. But I was overshadowing it in this particular area because I was just kind of saying, like, I'm showing up. That's enough. That's enough. But if you really want results, and I do, well, you need to shake it up and blow it up. And there's a good analogy when you got logs flowing down the river in the 1910s and they all got stuck, you would use TNT to get them flowing again. So, big, giant, long rant about my thinking process, my overthinking of it, but also, hopefully, by me outlining my life, how I think, or sometimes the lack thereof thinking through a particular problem. And this is a fairly safe particular problem. It's not like a completely devastating, horrible problem unless I was completely overweight and I was avoiding it. But in this case, we just need to get through it and get to a better place. So I'm recording this episode for a couple of reasons. One, accountability, that I follow through. Two, to let you know that even me, person who talking on here, is learning these things in different areas of my life as well. And that the reason why you need to do all the things in your life is because by walking through them for yourself, you will learn to walk through them with others as well. So I will check in with you guys in a little bit, in a few weeks, and let you know how my just do what makes you fucking happy approach works. And that is the advice I want to ask you and leave you with today is, where are you really doing what I'm just doing? And where are you not just doing and saying, just do what fucking makes you happy? Stop over-excusing it. Stop coming up with all these reasons it's not going to work. And a final close, if you come up with more than 2 to 3 excuses for something that's not going to work, your fear and your mindset is just trying to find reasons for it not to work. You only need one reason for it to work that could change everything, and you really only need one reason for it not to work. And if you find yourself excuse stacking of why it won't work, you generally have a problem. Guys, that is all I have for you today on this special hump day. Do what makes you fucking happy, and I'll be back again with you guys tomorrow.